The moment the mall security guard whispered those 4 words, my entire marriage ended. You really need to see this. His voice was low, reluctant, the kind that carries weight without volume. I'd just swiped my card for a cart full of weekend groceries. My wife, Elena, had drifted off to answer a quick work email. Ordinary. Forgettable. Until it wasn't. I trailed him through the staff corridor, pulse already climbing for reasons I couldn't name yet. He stopped at a small security desk and nodded toward a monitor cycling live feeds. There she was, my partner of 18 years, mother of our twin boys, leaning against a pillar near the changing rooms, phone to her ear, giggling in that soft, intimate way she once reserved for me. Her words drifted faintly through the wall partition. He's clueless. One last weekend getaway, then I'll break the news. Promise. The guard glanced sideways. Thought you should know before you leave. I gave a single nod. No outburst. No scene. I simply walked back, loaded the bags into the trunk, and waited. When she returned, cheeks flushed, she flashed that practiced smile. Sorry, client emergency. I leaned over, brushed a kiss against her temple. All good. She relaxed instantly, buckling in, oblivious that the countdown in my head had already begun. That night I lay awake beside her, cataloging every detail. The way she angled her phone screen away, the faint unfamiliar cologne clinging to her hair, the late yoga sessions that left her glowing but never sweaty. I had spent a decade in intelligence analysis before switching to project management. Patterns were my language. And Elena had suddenly become a glaring inconsistency. I started documenting dates, times, excuses. Then I reached out to an old contact, a cybersecurity expert I'd once pulled out of a bad spot. 48 hours later, recovered texts, hidden cloud backups, and geolocation pings painted the picture in brutal clarity. The worst wasn't the messages. It was a candid shot from their coffee meeting minutes after she'd lied about the call that day. Her eyes sparkling, hand grazing his wrist, wearing the expression of unguarded joy I hadn't seen in years. Betrayal doesn't explode. It seeps in, cold and steady, until your chest feels permanently hollow. I didn't accuse. I prepared. I consulted a sharp family attorney who specialized in high-conflict dissolutions. We mapped finances, traced irregularities. Turns out she'd quietly diverted modest sums from our shared savings into an online account linked to his name. Subtle. Sloppy. I acted faster. Froze accessible funds. Invoked a dormant prenuptial safeguard on our home. Thank you, wise in-laws who insisted years ago, and quietly petitioned for separation. Then came the setup. A business consultation booked in a neutral office suite. She believed it was about expanding my firm. He thought it concerned a joint venture she'd pitched. They walked in side by side. Too comfortable, too synchronized. Their faces collapsed when they saw me alone at the head of the table. I didn't raise my voice. I simply pushed forward a slim folder, statements, screenshots, transfer records, even the fake business entity bearing his initials. Her mouth opened. I can. No need, I said evenly. The story ends here. He blustered about privacy. I smiled thinly. You breached a home. I'm just closing the chapter lawfully. I rose. Papers are filed. Assets secured. And you, I told him, might want counsel before the tax authorities notice the irregular deposits. My sister Mara, fierce litigator, no-nonsense protector, had flown in the night before. She handled the escalation, emergency filings, child-focused provisions, ironclad protections. Elena tried damage control, whispering half-truths to friends. I countered silently with evidence packets sent ahead. Her company, a respected medical practice, received anonymous tips about misuse of corporate expense accounts for personal trips. Receipts matched. Policy violations were non-negotiable. Suspension followed swiftly. Later, Mara uncovered his past. Sealed complaints from a previous relationship, coercion, financial control, patterns eerily familiar. That detail shifted everything from personal wound to broader accountability. The final meeting was quiet. A small diner we'd frequented in better days. She arrived pale, stripped of pretense. "I never meant for this," she murmured. I met her eyes. "But you chose it anyway." She pushed an old snapshot across the table. "Us on our honeymoon, young and certain. Keep it. Or don't. I just can't carry it alone anymore." I studied the faces of two people who no longer existed. Then I slipped it into my pocket. "Forgiveness isn't erasure," I told her. "But I've already released the anger. The rest is yours to live with." I walked out without looking back. Driving home, the boys' laughter spilled from the open windows as they played in the yard. No tensión. No secrets hanging in the air. The storm had passed. What remained was space, clean, honest, ready for whatever came next. And for the first time in months, breathing felt easy.